you marry me?
Stand up, put your hands together. Sydney, show 'em how it's done. Say.
I remember she walked in, and me thinking Christ's qualities were like in her.
Absolutely. The Lord definitely brought us together. I mean, I knew the second I saw him, I didn't even know his name. I wasn't outrageously physically attracted to him. It was just one of those things that I knew.
Hi, my name is Maggie Sargent, and my film is called Divorcing God.
Wives' main job for their husbands are to respect and submit. We actually decided not to even kiss.
Yeah.
Divorcing God is a full-length documentary. Basically, we follow a Christian evangelical couple that are worship leaders in their church from the time of their engagement to the time of their divorce, all in the cycle of one film. So it basically studies why people get married and the role that the church has in sort of the everyday lives of people and the decisions that they make about marriage.
When I think of marriage, I think of no matter what the cost, no matter what the situation, it's forever.
Marriage works if you choose to make it work, and if it's submitted to the Lord every day. It's really hard, but it's the most amazing relationship you'll ever have.
Obviously, we didn't know they were going to get a divorce when we started the documentary. We were working on a completely different film where we were studying evangelical Christians and what happens to them when they get a divorce. Do they lose their faith or do they get stronger in their faith? And they were our happy young couple that was part of this project that sort of illustrated where all these people were like 20 years ago. And then we found out like several months after we finished taping them that they had gone through a divorce. So we figured that this story was a really important one that needed to be talked about. And we just started following this couple. So it's a really interesting, different documentary.
A gospel that doesn't include suffering isn't the gospel of Jesus Christ. You know, Gil actually called me up in tears and just said, you know what, God is trying to kill me.
It's been a roller coaster ride. May 23rd, she sent me an email and said that she wanted legal separation. I had braces, and I don't anymore.
I think one of the hardest parts of filming this documentary, a war story, I guess, is trying to get equal footage of both the guy and the girl, which ended up not happening.
You know, you watch those movies about situations where something happens and there's a guy and there's a girl and then they split ways and, you know, there's a way that it all comes back together. But there's nothing at all about this situation that is like any movie I've ever seen.
We really wanted to interview her more. It's the wife in the film, and she just would not return our calls. I stalked her. I tried everything I could tell her to try to get an interview, and we couldn't get more than one. So we have one very compelling interview with her, but that's kind of the nature of documentaries. You just never know, you know, it's out of your control a lot of times what people are going to decide. So that was probably the hardest part. And then like screening it for the first time with the main subject was really interesting because our beliefs are very different. And he had all his friends and family there, and we just didn't know what was going to happen. And it's a very controversial film. And I think that was really kind of one of the scariest moments for me as a documentary filmmaker. So it went well, and we're still friends, which is cool.
I feel like we knew it wasn't right, but we did it anyways, because kind of everything was already in place. We already been planning it, so we just did it.
I've read in the Bible, God said, and I quote, "I hate divorce."
If Scripture says this, and da-da-da-da, if you say this and Scripture says this, you're supposed to be living like this. Which is legit. I mean, people have the right intentions, you know, and it's legit, but
There's been a lot of reaching out, but there hasn't been a lot of communication. I hope that that changes soon.
To me, it doesn't feel that there's a Gil side and a Sydney side. It's like there's a God side.
So I'm here at the Atlanta Film Festival, and I just got done with our premiere here, which was amazing. We actually had a really good crowd in the theater. We brought in the main character, Gil, and the two of us did a Q&A afterward. It was the best Q&A that I think I've ever been to. I know I'm partial because it's my film, but it just went on forever. They actually had to kick us out. Just the themes that came out of it and the different questions, I was really excited about it. And it was just a really good conversation. And the conversation just kept going. A guy just came in here and said he's buying the film. He wants to buy it because he's hearing people talk about it over at the restaurant across the street. So that's my favorite part. This film is about conversation. It's about starting the dialogue. So really, I think it begins after the film's over and we can all sit down and talk about it.
It's almost been 13 months. How long am I supposed to wait? How long am I supposed to go without not even hearing her?
How long should he wait? That's a tough question. You could get the divorce papers, but all I know is it's not over until God says it's over.
My name's Maggie Sargent. My film is a full-length documentary called Divorcing God, and you're watching The Film Fix.